How's it going, folks? It's Rob here. Time to harvest the ginger from the aquaponics bed behind me here. So I thought I'd bring you along and give you a bit of a look at how it went. These plants went in September last year, so they've been growing for 9 months in the system. And even though we're in June now, they don't look like they're slowing down too much. But I do want to make some room for some other plants, so they've got to come out today. 3 lots of ginger that we'd saved from the previous year's harvest were used to plant out this bed. 2 of them got off to a flying start, and 1 of them hasn't done so well. But you know, from the looks of it, we're going to get a half decent yield from it. So what I'll do is I'll set up the cameras and we'll have a bit of a gander at how it went. Just before we get to it, I thought I'd just give you a look at the plants with the greenery on. This one here is the one that got off to the slow start. And the 2 plants over the back there, they're the ones that pretty much all just bolted out of the gate and have flown along ever since. So thought it might be good to give you a bit of a look while the leaves are still on. So I'm just going to snip off all these bits of greenery to begin with. Just pop them into this pouch to take down to the compost later. So here's a bit of a look at the root that we've uncovered. This is the one that didn't do so well. It looks like it's put on a decent amount of size. And just down here, we have the other 2 that were planted pretty close to each other. So I'll stop rabbiting on and we'll get cracking on this little fella in the corner. So there you go, it's a pretty damn impressive bit of ginger. You can probably make out the remnants of the mother down in there. Put him to one side and clean him off and weigh him up in a minute. I was going to pull out any of the large sections of root that are left down in here. Any of the fine ones, the compost worms can pretty much all finish off, I figure. I've just done a measurement across and it is around about 50 centimetres or 19 3/4 inches. And at the widest, across the middle, it's just under 16 inches or 40 centimetres. So not bad for a couple of ginger plants. I'm going to run into a few problems with this jalapeno here. If I lose her, I'm not too concerned. And this little celery over the back here, she can pretty much all come out anyway. She's suffered through lack of sunlight the whole time. They tend to be throwing up a lot of these side shoots and they're just not forming real solid stems. So she can go join the compost. Now, yes, try and move all this clay out. So this is going to be fun. Might start over the back here, I think. I'd like to try and separate the 2 different clumps if I can. I don't know how much success I'm going to have though without breaking them. So I actually think this section over here is one plant and this one over here is the other, because when I move this bit here, that's moving, but these guys aren't. So what we might do is we might just bite the bullet and snap this bit off, I think. So I don't know how well that's showing up, but that's the actual mother root down in there, just below this section. So now onto these bits, I'm just going to snap them off, I think, because these roots are going to be all through the jalapeno as well. Just to give you an idea of the roots, they're pretty impressive, nice and thick. So, and that's what's left of the mother piece after all of its nutrients have been used up. Now on to number 3. See the roots of the poor jalapeno here. I might just pull her out. Another crop's going in here anyway. I have enough of these guys around the place. This one's going to be a bit of a challenge to get out in one piece, I think. Not sure if you can make it out down here, but what I'm doing is just snapping off any of these long roots as I come across them. Yeah, broken a couple off, such as. The mother piece in this one here, it actually looks rather good, rather viable still, so might even be able to turn that into some tea or something. Try and shake all this clay out. So there's the 3 of them. On the far left there we have the second clump that was harvested. It was the smallest. Then in the middle we have the first clump, and on the far right we have the last clump. So what I'm going to do now is just snip off any of the roots and shake out any of the clay media that's in there, and then we'll get weighing them up from smallest to largest. So this is the original rhizome from the largest clump. So we might just snap him off. And inside there, come on little fella, I found a compost worm. I'm just going to free him, I think. There we go. Try and get the little fella out. One of the willing workers from the aquaponics, so he can go back in. There you go, little fella. So I don't have any fancy scales. The best I've got are these little kitchen jobbies, so we'll just add in the smallest clump. This was the second lot to be harvested. And what we've got there is 1.853 kilos, so not a bad little lot, I don't think. Not going to complain about it, that's for sure. So this is the second lot of ginger that came out of the bed. And in here we have, well, pretty much all the same, almost 1.846 grams. Pop him to one side. Now for the large one. Let's see what we get here. There we go, 3.2 kilograms. So that one there's approaching double the other ones. Pretty chuffed with that one in particular. So this is the ginger all laid out. Got some really nice pieces here, some nice large ones. I'm particularly fond of this bit here. It's trying to be a monkey puzzle. There's a bit growing through another section there. So yeah, what are we going to do with this? Well, we've got a few things bookmarked for it. Bianca's got a list. She'd like to try some pickled ginger, Japanese style. So it's basically when you slice this stuff up nice and thin, a bit of vinegar and sugar and preserve it that way. I'd also like to try and dehydrate some and turn it into powder like we did with the turmeric we harvested the other week. Unfortunately our dehydrator's bit the dust, so we're going to look into getting that repaired or whether it needs to be replaced. And also some lacto fermented ginger beer. We made up some a couple of years back and I really liked it, so I'll try and make some more out of this stuff here. So I definitely got more than enough ideas to try and use this stuff up, and we've also got a bit more to come yet. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you some clips on how we're going to process this stuff. It all just depends on if we can sort out some lighting for the kitchen. So all up from the 3 plants ended up with 6.9 kilograms or roughly 15.2 pounds, so pretty chuffed with that. Next season though, I won't be growing them in this grow bed. This grow bed's actually going to end up with some beans in it, hopefully this weekend, just fill out the gaps. This stuff here just took up too much space, too much real estate, and was in there for too long. So I think it's better off grown in individual little barrels like the idea I had originally, except this time I'm going to make them flood and drain because I do think they went a little bit better in the flood and drain bed here. So what I'm going to do is set up 2 ginger and probably 2 galangal and have them flood and drain via an external bell siphon, just something I haven't played around with yet. I've actually got another batch of ginger to come yet. We've got 2 plants actually in a wicking barrel behind the Tahitian lime tree, so they'll be coming out this weekend and hopefully there'll be a clip just showing you what sort of a yield we got. It'll be interesting to do a comparison between these guys and the soil ones. If this is the first time you've seen one of our clips and you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button and you'll be sent a notification whenever we post any more clips to our YouTube channel, and you can come along and see what it is. It might be a harvest clip, something on the aquaponics, or just something else that's going on in our small little backyard farm. So I would like to thank you all for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed the clip, and I shall catch you next time. Cheers folks. Still here folks. Just wanted to give a quick shout out and thanks to Chris and the folks at Root and Ramble. They've let us have a promo code so you can pick up one of these fantastic Aquaponics Grow Different t-shirts. All you need to do is pop down to the description, grab the code, hop on over to the website and apply the code on checkout, and you can get 15% off until the 1st of August 2016. They've also got some other fantastic designs there. They're pretty much all revolving their line around the backyard urban farmer or backyard farmer, so you'll probably find something there that takes your fancy. I would like to give a big shout out and thanks to Rob from Bigelow Brook Farm for not only the inspiration he gives with his clips and information, but also too for having a code a little while back, and that's where I got mine from. Saved myself a bit of coin. Thank you very much, Rob, and I pronounced the name of your farm correctly this time. So there you go. That is pretty much all it, and I will catch you next clip. Cheers all. Hopefully I'll be able to bring you some clips on how we're going to process this stuff. It all just depends on if we can sort out some lighting for the kitchen. When we did the turmeric clip, we had a large heavy book acting as a counterweight on some chopsticks holding out my workbench light. So that was the only way we could light the bench effectively.